new makeup today that I'm playing with. We can just jump right in, but I do want to tell you the different brands. So we have Sisley, we have Tom Ford, we have Suqqu, we have RMS, we have Makeup by Mario. Am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything. Dolce & Gabbana. All right, let's get into it. So first, what's on my face? This is a foundation that actually came out a little while ago, and I've been playing with it, and I didn't want to give a review or talk about it in detail until I actually was able to figure out how to use it. So this is the Tom Ford, I think it was the Architecture foundation that came out. The reason I'm not absolutely sure of the name is that my wonderful SA, Rhiannon, sent me samples, so they're in these little sample jars. And she had 0.4 and 0.5. I have 0.5 on my face. It actually works really well for me. I might go to the shade all the time. Usually I wear 1.3, which is something ivory. Rose ivory? Can't remember, but it's 1.3. But this is actually a really good match, I think, for my skin. And I'll put a little like swatch here so you can see it just blends right in. Really, really easy to use. Here's the thing about this foundation. It is a matte foundation, a real matte foundation, and you have to work with it very quickly. So two things that I do since I have dry skin. Now, if you have oily skin, this might be a holy grail product for you. I don't know, because I've not had oily skin, so any of you who have it or tried it and have oily skin, let me know. But I use the Bobbi Brown. This is the Vitamin Enrich face base, which is like, it's a moisturizer. I mean, it's just it's a good, really good moisturizer. But a lot of people use it as primer. I use it as, it's face-based, but it's honestly, it's a moisturizer. I really like this product. It's excellent, right? It's described as a primer and moisturizer in one. In my opinion, it's really more of a moisturizer, but I do like it for like drier times of the year, winter, and when I'm trying to use a matte foundation. I don't usually use it on camera when I do these matte foundations because I want to show you what the matte foundations look like. But there were so many reviews of this foundation, I was like, okay, let me bring something different to the conversation, which is how to use it if you want a matte foundation and you have dry skin or drier skin. How could you use it? And here's how you can use it and actually make it look nice. Because I actually think it looks really good like this. So one, get a very moisturized base, whether that's moisturizer or I really like the Bobbi Brown. I think it's a good product. It's not particularly expensive. It's been around for a long time. It doesn't irritate my skin. You know, it's a good all-around product that I've used for a long time. Then I took the foundation and I did record this, so hopefully that will pop up. I put it on like in dots on my face, and I used a flat Dior brush and like brushed it in very quickly, like back and forth on the skin. So I tried to get it in my skin as quickly as possible. I also didn't use a lot of it. I used very little of it. So, you know, I don't over do my face because again, my skin is very dry. So if you have too much matte foundation on dry skin, it starts to look cakey. If you do that, if you work with it quickly, or if you use your fingers that give a warmth to it, but like I did right here when I put it on my chin, I would still do it in areas. So I would do it like here, I would do it like here, I would do here, I would do your chin. Do it in stages and pieces on your face, and don't use a lot. Either use your fingers or use a brush like this where you can literally go like you're painting, you know, so that you can get it in and that it's really it's really pushed into your skin, into the moisturizer that's there. I think that has worked extremely well for me. You can see up close, it doesn't accentuate pores. It looks very nice. It does go matte because that is the nature of the foundation. So if you don't like a matte base, then you're not gonna like it. But if you're looking to use this foundation or you want a matte foundation and you like this one, it's very good, it works and it lasts, and you have drier skin, I think this is the way that works for me. Anyway, so I wanted to do that first. Got that out there. Secondly, I picked up the Makeup by Mario because I really do like the Makeup by Mario products. As you know, if you've watched me for a while, I'm a huge fan of his from way back in the day. And some of his products I love, and then there's other products where I'm like, So I try to find the ones that I love. Liquid bronzer, soft sculpt, oh, I can't speak. Soft sculpt, bronzing and shaping serum. Liquid bronzer, and I got it in fair. So it comes in this type of bottle. Now, I have seen people use this, and I mean, I guess the idea is to use it underneath your foundation, but I'm gonna try to use it over the foundation because I wanted to show you the foundation first. But let me see, the number one, water's the first ingredient in here, and then glycerin, hyaluronic acid, good for me. Caffeine, interesting, I should put it under my eyes. My eyes have been puffy lately. My eyes aren't usually puffy either, so I don't know what's going on with that, but you know, whatever. Mica is in here, but it's way down. I don't see any perfumes. I don't see any perfumes. Has a leaping bunny, 12 months, made in the United States. All right, so let's first, I always shake things up. I don't know why, but I just like, as a matter of, I think it's my years when I was as a makeup artist, I was just shook everything up because I was like, it can't hurt it if it's not supposed to be shaken up. Like, there's nothing that, I never had a product where it says absolutely do not shake, except for one, but that was a skincare product. That's a Mario Badescu. It's a, what's the word, spot treatment. You're not supposed to shake that product. That's the only product I've ever seen that you absolutely aren't supposed to shake. But again, it's skincare. All my makeup products, they were all like shake. All right, let's see what it does. There we go. It's creamy. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a cool tone, which I like. All right, well, let's try it. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna put it in areas that I would usually use contour. I'm gonna use my fingers because that just makes most sense to me, given the type of product this is. It's very creamy. It's a serum, so, you know, it feels comfortable. You could absolutely use a brush. And don't worry, I'll continue to use it and use it like under the foundation too. I just want to see the versatility of it. It's not messing up the foundation. It's not lifting it or anything. And it doesn't seem like you have to work with it super fast because I'm still, you know, using it from my hand. Huh. Oh, I like this. See, this is why I continue to use the Makeup by Mario products, because there's some that I don't love, but this, now, I will tell you right now, looking at this is subtle. This is not the contouring, sculpting as maybe we have come to know it on TikTok, or some of you who watch TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. You can go online to his site and look for tips and tricks, but good bronzer, shaping serum. Yeah, I like this. Let me see. It has, why do they make the font so small? 30 milliliters, so 1 fluid ounce. Yeah, this is nice, guys. Now again, it's very subtle. It's not, this is not something that's gonna be obvious. Like, you're not gonna look at someone's face and be like, oh, she has bronzer or she has sculpting or whatever it is. But that, I think, is beautiful as a contour product. And I cannot wait to try this just on skin without anything on it, and then the Lisa Eldridge over it, which will, I think, be very natural. But I think it looks great with this. I'm sold. First of all, let's look and see what shades it comes in. I went for the fair because I don't think anything more needs to be said. $36. It says exclusive, so it might be exclusive to the Sephora site. 1, 2, 3, it looks like 7 shades. There is fair, which is what I have, light, light medium, medium, medium dark, dark, and dark deep. Those are the 7. Pretty reasonable, like, for this type of product, because again, it's not supposed to, it's not gonna be, you can do a broad range with each product. A multi-use liquid bronzer that warms the complexion with sun-kissed glow and softly shapes targeted areas with a sheer, natural, second skin finish. Light, natural, liquid, hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, free of parabens, formaldehydes, all that good stuff. No fragrance. Less than 1% synthetic fragrance. Vegan, gluten-free, cruelty-free. You know, I really like this. I mean, honestly, like this is exactly the kind of sculpting, contouring that I want because it's very natural and it's very, very light and very sheer. Now, if you're looking for like this fair shade, if you're looking for a true bronzing color, this is not it. This is contouring, this is sculpting. I'd be really interested to try the light and the light medium because I feel like it would be interesting to see how warm those are. You know what I mean? Like if I could use it more as a bronzer and this is the contour, this is great. If you're looking for a light, like even lighter in tone and color than the Westman Atelier Biscuit or the Rare Beauty, and I forgot the Rare Beauty name, but you know the one that looks just like Biscuit. This is your product. It's super light. It feels like nothing, but it gives that like slight contour to the face and to the nose that makes it definitely makes it look contoured, but in a very natural way. Love that product. I will check out other shades. I wonder if we have them here. Oh yeah, there. So we have a Sephora that went in 2 miles from my house. Literally like 2 miles from my house. So I'll check out other colors and let you know my thoughts. Okay, so next, I caved. This is the RMS Beach Walk Betty that I picked up. Now I say I caved because I was like, I don't need any more bronzers. Why am I gonna get a bronzer? I have so many bronzers, but I saw this one on like a bunch of people, including Sophia, and I was like, that's a great shade. So this is Beach Walk Betty. It's the lightest of all the new bronzers, and it has a pink reddish tone to it. And I think this is the kind of product that many of you will like. RMS Beauty is a brand that I'm actually very fond of. I have a lot of the RMS blushes. I've talked about them, and I think very highly of the blushes. I think this bronzer has, like, it even looks the same as the blushes. It has a very similar, if not the same, formula to it. It goes on the skin beautifully. And it's a natural looking finish and just looks, honestly, it looks stunning on the skin. The reason I don't talk about RMS that often, one, they don't have as many products, and two, I don't have, like I have the blushes and now I have a bronzer. I don't really have anything else from them. I find that I always like their products, so I don't know why I don't pick up more, maybe because they're harder to find around me, but I think I need to make more of an effort because they're always good. So they have, how many shades here? 4 shades: Beach Walk Betty, Bikini Beach, Tan Lines, and Malibu Muse. And when I say that the Beach Walk Betty is the lightest, I don't know if it's the lightest, it's the pinkest, it's the reddest of them. It's the one that I was immediately drawn to. So it's talc-free, long-wear gel to powder bronzer, refillable mirrored compact, 4 shades, really beautiful, $35. So we're gonna go ahead and use it. And yes, like I said, these are refillable, so you can just keep the packaging and pay less for the refill. So yeah, I just need to get out and get more RMS. They do have it at Credo Beauty, which is down where I get my hair done. So I feel like I just need to make that a stop every time I get my hair done. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful bronzer on me. Yeah, that's great. Now what I always do with like a pinkish reddish bronzer, I kind of put a little bit all over the face. I make sure there's not a lot on the brush because then it looks more like I just, you know, got a little bit of color. Oh yeah, this is great. This is a great product. All right, so 2 for 2 in the bronzing department. The Beach Walk Betty is the one that I recommend. Like I said, the others look like the formula looks great, but I think they're like the Bikini Beach looks a little too deep for me, to be honest. The Tan Lines also looks a little too deep and too warm, and then the Malibu one definitely looks too warm for me. I was like, yeah, that one's not for me. We have Dolce & Gabbana blush, and I have used this before, but I only used it once when I first did it. This is the mauve shade, and I wanted to revisit it because I have to tell you, the Dolce & Gabbana products, the bronzer and the blushes are really good. Now these are reimagined, relaunched Dolce & Gabbana. Anything that you liked from Dolce & Gabbana before is on its way out. One way or another, it is no longer going to exist. So if there's something that you really loved from the former Dolce & Gabbana, I would reach out to SAs wherever you bought them from and get them now because they're gone. There's a number of things from Dolce that I loved that will no longer exist. That does include the Solar Glow powder, by the way, guys, but we hear that there's a Solar Glow 2.0 coming. Who knows if it's true. There's a smell to this. You can't really smell in the packaging, but when you put it on the brush, you can smell it. It's beautiful. It's very, very light. I love the formula of the Dolce & Gabbana powders. The blush and the highlight and the bronzer are both beautiful. The thing I would say is that the number 2 bronzer is warm. And I like it. I don't love it, but I like it on my skin. I think it works. But for those of you who want this redder, pinker kind of version, I would actually look at like 3, 4 and see. I think those have a cooler, redder undertone and might work for you, even though they're deeper. But the formula that Dolce has come up with, phenomenally good. Seriously, I can't wait to see what else they come up with. They did a great job. So let's do lipstick next, and then we'll get to the eyes. This is the Phyto Rouge Shine by Sisley. This is not a new product, but it is a new shade. At least it is for me. This is Sheer Ginger, and it's a shade that I did not have. And considering my hair, I was like, well, I have to buy it. I think it's a really pretty coral for the summer. Yeah, it's just really nice, bright, but not too bright. It's like my idea of bright, but it's a coral and it's a very pretty shade. I think it goes a little pinker on me than it might go on other people. Technically it's ginger, so it's supposed to be a little bit warmer, but like I said, everything goes cool on me. But I think, you know, pretty much anyone who likes coral is gonna love this shade. So last but not least, eyes. So I have, this is the Suqqu collection, 136. And let's see, it's 137. And I picked these up. These were the pre-summer collection or the summer collection? I'll make sure it says down below. I always get confused at this point. I think it's the pre-summer collection. I'm pretty sure. I am not picking up any of the summer collection, so I think that's what this is. This is pre-summer. And today I'm going to use the warmer one because I have the ginger on my lips. But I think you can probably tell which one I wanted, which is why I ended up picking up the eyeshadows. I loved the purple shades so much, I was just like, ooh, I have to get those. So this one I said is 136. And, you know, as I just said, I'm not going to be picking up the summer Suqqu. Don't take that to mean that I am off Suqqu or that I don't like Suqqu. But I am now getting to a point that I've had so much in my collection that I just have to be, again, more discerning. I've said this word a couple of times about what I pick up because, you know, I'm actually thinking of putting more makeup up for sale just because I'm not using it and I'm trying to declutter, which is why I mentioned on Instagram, I'll probably be putting up some perfumes and some jewelry, vintage jewelry, because I have just too much. I just have too much stuff. So here are the shades. This is not the shade, that's Beach Walk Betty. So here's the 2 powders, I'm sorry, 2 mattes. And then we have the shimmer shades, the satin. I think this is a satin and I think this is like a shimmer. But I can honestly tell you, like all things Suqqu, it's a beautiful quad. It's a little bit more of that coral look. So if you like a coral eye, I think you're gonna like this. I don't think it's gonna be my favorite. I was much more interested in the purple, but let's see what it does. Let's take the pinkier shade. Definitely more like poppy coral. The Poppy Coral Dior Blush and Maximizer would go great, like great with this quad. Let's say that right now. All right, then I'm gonna take the other matte, which is sort of a little bit more of the coral, like the original coral blush from Dior. And I'm just gonna emphasize that crease a little bit. I'm gonna run it through. It's gonna make it a little more warm. See what I mean? Like it made it, yeah, brighter, a little bit more orange. And then I'm gonna take that same shade and I'm gonna very lightly press it onto the eyelid. I'm not gonna deepen it. It might be a little patchy, that's fine. Just trying to get kind of a base. All right, now this shade here is a beautiful shade. It is a powerful shade though as well. So I think what I want to do here, is take this shade, as I said, it's powerful, and this very teeny brush, it's a tiny, tiny brush. And sometimes you need a tiny brush. I want to put this on the outer corner like this. Same over here, kind of like a halo eye. Yeah, you know, it's funny, like when I look at brushes, I'm always attracted to like the bigger brush, you know, when I'm buying brushes. But when I think about it, anytime you're doing an intricate eye look, you need a very detailed brush. And in the beginning, when I was starting my collection, I actually did not have as many like small detail brushes because they don't look, I don't know, they won't look as impressive or something when you buy them. But you realize very quickly, like, they're very necessary for any type of intricate design that you're gonna do. Like if you wanna do like an eyeliner with powder, or if you wanna, you know, do some kind of like quirky designs, or if you just don't have a particularly big eyelid and you want to use, you know, these shades and like do something like a halo eye, frankly, you need a small brush to get in there. So, you know, maybe that was just me. Like maybe everybody else has been buying the tiny little brushes this entire time, but I was always like drawn towards the bigger brushes. And then I was like, oh, I don't have any tiny brushes to do the intricate work. All right, so now we're gonna take the shimmery light shade here, put it on the middle of the eye. And I am gonna go over it a little bit with my finger, get a little bit more, you know, impact. You could also use a Kolinsky brush. Again, a very bright, pink, springy, coral look. And not necessarily my color story, because as I've said a couple of times, I'm not usually like, I usually go, the purple was the one I wanted, but I was like, nah, I should get them both just so I have them, since I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna pick up summer. But it is a beautiful look, and it's very pigmented if that's your color story. So let me put on a little bit of mascara. We'll just go over the products that we saw today and wrap up. And we're back. So this is definitely a very summer look, and actually, as usual, I like the final look. I think the color of my eyes is actually very pretty. It's too coral and pink for me. Like for my comfort level, I always feel a little off when I'm wearing like a bright pink color. But with the tan skin, I actually think it looks fabulous. It does remind me of that beach resort kind of look. I always go, when I come up with these ideas in my head about like what it looks like, I don't know why I default to Capri. Maybe because I really want to go to Capri. That's probably it. I mean, I could say some other island. I could say like Mykonos or something, but for whatever reason, Capri is what comes to mind. Anyway, so yeah, I actually think, you know, everything looks really nice, and it makes my teeth look whiter, which is always a nice thing. So again, what I have on my face today, I have the vitamin enriched face base. This is the Bobbi Brown. I use this all the time. I've used it for years. It is basically a moisturizer, again, primer and moisturizer, but it's very thick. And if you're somebody that's oily skin, I really would not recommend it. If you have dry skin, it's great when it's drier weather or when you're using a foundation such as this one, which is very mattifying. Again, this is, I think it's the Architecture. I'll make sure the name is right, but it's the 0.5 shade. My good friend and essay, Rhiannon, sent me different shades so I could try out different shades. And what I would tell you is that it is a good foundation. You can see how really beautiful it looks on the skin. Like it really is a wonderful finish, but you need to use it a certain way to get this. And some people might not be willing to do that, which, you know, is totally fair. I would say if you're looking for a matte foundation though, this is a really good one, but you do have to work with it very quickly. It's not something that you could just like put on your face and wait a, you know, like I usually do. I'm like, put it on my face and I look down and I read something, and then don't do that because it just sticks. The flip side of that though is once it's down, this stuff stays. Like it stays. Now, I don't usually have a problem with keeping my makeup because my skin is so dry, but I will also say it doesn't get cakey and it doesn't go into lines. I think there's two reasons for that though. One, I think it's because of the moisturizing base, and two, it's because I use so little. I think if I used more of it, like I would say it's maybe half a pump for the whole face. half a pump to a pump, maybe. So if you're somebody who wants a lot of coverage and you're using a lot of it and you have dry skin, I don't know if that would work. In the beginning when I was trying it out, I had some issues. Like it got cakey, it looked a little too dry. But again, I have now found the perfect way to wear it. And if this foundation went on sale, I would buy it. I won't buy it at its current price just because I don't wear a matte foundation, but I could see times that I would want a matte foundation that this would actually be very nice. So if it was on sale, I would buy it. That's my take of where I am with this one. The Makeup by Mario might be a new holy grail product. I love the way this contoured my face. I see this as a contour shade, not as a bronzing shade. This is the Fair. So I need to look at the other shades and see if they would work for me as like a bronzing. I like sheer tints. I like things that are subtle. If you're looking for something impactful, this is not it. RMS has an amazing formula in their blushes and in this bronzer. I think it's beautiful. This is Beach Walk Betty, which of course is a cooler toned. If you're looking for a cooler toned and a really beautiful blush, this one's excellent at a really good price point. The lipstick, Sisley, these are the Fido Shines. These are great products. I've talked about these before. Beverly Hills is probably my favorite shade, which is a limited edition shade. I think it still exists, maybe. I'm not sure about that one. But this one, Ginger, this is great. This is number 32, Sheer Ginger. Dolce & Gabbana, I love the formula of their bronzer and their blush. This is the mauve one. I really do think they're fantastic. They're worth picking up. The bronzer, the shade I have is number 2. It's warm. So if you're looking for the Dolce & Gabbana, I would go up, and you like cool, I would go up shades, even though it's probably a little too deep for someone who has my skin tone. But the formula, Suqqu again is Suqqu. I mean, guys, it always performs. It might not be my color story, or I might not even like necessarily the overall look, although this one I do. It always performs. It's always good. Those are my thoughts. So yeah, all new makeup, all of it worked, even the matte makeup, but of course that is because I worked on making it work for I've had this foundation for like a month. And I tried numerous ways and it did not work, but I found a way to make it work. And in the way that I use it now, I actually really like the finish. But again, it's a specific way of doing it. But let's say you bought it and you find that you don't like it because you have dry skin. It does look really great if you do the steps that I talked about. At least it does to me. So I'd love to hear if you have any of these products, if you're thinking of picking them up. Any comments, any questions, put them down below. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.